We're going to get started, and we're going to start with dynamic stretching today. So we're going to come to our feet and do some active stretching. So when you're ready, just meet me on your mat, and we'll get started with stretch and de-stress. Some dynamic stuff today. We're going to take the arms up, and we're going to let one fall in the front and one fall in the back. And that might seem difficult. My left arm, you see, doesn't really want to work. It's going to go back. Ooh, that's difficult. And however you can get them to move, just take some arm circles. Maybe if it feels more comfortable, do them together. We'll do a couple forward and a couple back. Opening up to the chest, finding some space in those shoulders. Good. Now let's bring our arms out like a field goal. Palms are going to face away from us, and we're just going to turn from side to side. Maybe you heard my hip pop. Maybe you've got some cracks in the back. Pull the elbows out wide and then twist through the spine. Good. Let's bring the hands to the hips. And we're going to circle the hips forward, out to the side and back. Nice big circles in one direction. And then go the other way. There's two ways we can stretch, and that is dynamic, which is what we're doing now, and static, which we will do towards the end of class. Good. We're going to find some hip circles by moving the leg up, bend the knee, bring it out in front, and then swing it out to the side. And then we'll do that backwards. We'll bring it out to the side and swing it in. Let's go to the other side. Finding space in our joints. If we don't, our body builds up calcium in the joints, and then it restricts our movement. So it's important that we stretch and work out through our joints as well as through the muscles. Good, let's take it inside. So it goes out, swing it in. This will get the body warm as well to help with that static stretching. Good. Let's take the feet out wide. And we're going to forward fold. Take a moment to just let the upper body be heavy. Maybe close the eyes for a second. Take a couple big deep breaths. Good, and then I want you to reach for opposite elbows, grabbing on and connecting. And then we're just gonna rotate the torso from side to side. It doesn't need to be in any fashion. Just let the upper body become loose. Let the head hang heavy, maybe shake it out, yes or no. And then bring the hands down to the mat. Press the fingertips into the mat and round the spine. Pulling the shoulder blades apart. Round the back. Good, and then make that connection again by grabbing elbows. And we're going to turn our torso to where our arms are next to that right leg. And from there, we're going to reach up, keep the arms connected. And then we're going to come down the opposite side on the left. You'll find a stretch in the side of the body as we come up on the left side. As we go down the left side, you'll feel that stretch on the right. One more time, come up the right side, finding that left side body stretch. Go down the left side, finding the right side body stretch. Good, now hang and swing side to side a couple of times in that fold. And then we're gonna go up the left side, stretching out through the right side, and down the right, finding another stretch on the left. We're gonna do that 2 more times. Up the left, and down the right. Last one. Very good. Bring the hands back down to the mat. Let the arms be heavy. Let the head be heavy. Shake it out a couple of times. Very good. Let's let our toes point out and our heels come in, and we're going to sit it down into a deep squat. Opening up through the hips. More of a static stretch here. We're not moving. Keeping the full foot flush to the mat. If your heels are coming up, maybe you need to step the feet out a little bit wider. Maybe you drive the elbows into the thighs or the knees to open up the hips a little bit more. Very good. Let's bring our left hand down to the mat. We're going to reach our right arm high for an easy spinal twist. Now, reaching that arm up, we're going to take a second to pull the arm back. You'll feel the stretch go down the arm into the shoulder, opening up through the chest. Good. Bring it down. Right hand comes to the mat. The left hand's going to go high. Very good. Bring that right hand down. And now press the palms together, drive the elbows with the insides of the knees. And we're going to sit here for just one more round of breath to open up through the hips. Very good. Bring the hands down to the mat. And I want you to come down to the knees, finding a tabletop. Once you're in your tabletop, knees under the hips, palms under the shoulders, I want you to walk the hands out in front towards the front of the mat and come down to the forearms, keeping the hips high, reaching the arms out in front, finding a puppy pose, reach the arms long. Find the stretch underneath the arms, down the armpit into the sides, keeping those hips high. And then I want you to turn your right palm up. You're going to find a deeper stretch through that right side body. And then turn the palm down. Good. We're going to walk our right arm, palm out to the side, reaching for the left side of the room. Finding a stretch to the outside of that right shoulder, threading the needle here, keep the hips high. Good, bring it back through. We'll send the left hand underneath that right arm. Palm faces up, finding the stretch on the outside of that left shoulder. Now, if you can rest your left cheek to the mat, we're going to reach our right palm on top of our left, keep the hips high, and then reach the right arm up just a little bit. Bring it down and then reach it up. Good. Walk the hands forward, and this time bring your chin to the mat. One more round of breath. Very good. Let's lift the hips and then slowly lower them all the way down to the mat. Take a moment to find a position here that is Comfortable for your back. If this is uncomfortable, please come down to the forearms. Untuck the toes. I like to walk my palms out to the sides of my mat. I feel like it gives me sufficient space to let the hips come low without causing me too much pain. Pull the shoulder blades back, shining that heart forward. Squeezing the shoulder blades together, opening up through the chest here. And then we're going to lift the hips, keep the toes tucked, push the hips all the way to the heels to find yourself in a relaxed child's pose. Let the arms just relax to the mat. We're not reaching and stretching. Let your favorite cheek come to the mat. Maybe close the eyes and take a couple rounds of breath here to relax. Stretch and de-stress. We've got to take just moments in our day to close our eyes, connect to our breath, and let everything calm down on the inside, tuning everything out. Very good. Lift the hips. And we're going to step the right foot back and then the left. Coming into a plank. We're not going to stay here. We are not working out today, not this class anyways. We're going to bring that left foot forward. You're going to step it to the outside of that left hand, and you're going to sink that right hip down towards the mat. And if you like, you're going to reach that left arm high, and then open it up, opening the chest up to the ceiling. Good, bring it down. We'll let that right knee come to the ground, and we'll sink the right hip even closer. Maybe you take another twist. Maybe you come down to the forearms if you have the space. Stretching out the left and the right side of the body. Good. If you're to the forearms, come to the palms. Lift the hips, press them back, and straighten out that left leg to find a stretch on the left hamstring. Pull the toe back towards your face. Keep the spine long. You don't want to have a rounded spine here. And just find that stretch and hold. Very good. Bend that left knee. The hands come back to center. Lift that right knee off the mat and step the left back. We're going to push it to a down dog. Pressing the palms into the mat, press your chest closer to your thighs. Finding that upper body stretch. Lift the hips. Very good. Come back to your plank, and we're going to step that right foot up. Outside of the right hand, letting that left hip sink towards the mat. The left hand is our support, and our right hand comes to the sky. Open the chest up towards the ceiling. Find that stretch. Good. Bring that right hand down. Let that left knee lower to the mat, untuck that toe, and sink that left hip a little bit closer to the mat. Try not to look at that left leg. You want your gaze to be to the top of the mat if your eyes are open, and maybe you close the eyes to stay connected to the body during this stretch. Good. Lift the hips. Straighten out through that right leg. Pull the toe back towards your face. We're going to stretch out through that right hamstring. Keep the spine long, including the neck. The gaze will be over the foot, or the eyes will be closed. Holding the stretch like this is more static. and be more relaxing. We're going to do a few more dynamic stretches and then we'll really slow it down. Good. Bend that right knee. The hands come back to center. Tuck that left toe. Lift the left knee and then step that right foot back and push it into a down dog. This time we're going to stretch out through the calves. So don't so much worry about pressing the chest closer to the thighs. I want you to press the heels close to the mat. Stretching out through the back of the ankle up into the calves. Hold it there. Good. Slowly bring the knees down to the mat. And let's untuck the toes and sit the hips to the heels. We're going to slow it down. And take a moment to stretch out through the neck. Let the arms rest heavy in the lap and then bring the chin to the chest. Look for a stretch in the back of the neck as you let the head hang heavy. And then I want you to just tilt the head to the left. And find a stretch on the right side of the neck. I like to tilt my head to the left and then pull the head back to really find that stretch all the way down to the shoulder from the top of the neck. Once you find your stretch, just hold. And then slowly roll the chin back to the chest. Good. We'll tilt the head to the right. Stretching out through the left side of the neck. Move super slow through these transitions and look for a stretch all the way from the base of the skull down to the shoulder. Once you have the head tilted to the right, you can pull it back just a little bit, finding depth in that stretch. Once you find it, just hold it there. Close the eyes and take a couple big deep breaths. And then when you're ready, you can slowly roll the head forward to bring the chin back to the chest. One more time, tilt the head to the left. This time, instead of pulling the head back, I want you to press the chin forward. So if your left ear is over your left shoulder, as you press your chin forward, the ear is going to move back behind the shoulder. Finding a stretch that moves towards the front of the body on that right side. Once you find it, just hold it there. The longer we hold the stretch, the more relaxed the muscle becomes. So if your neck is tight, please hold these positions for a little bit longer. And breathe into the tension. Good, let's roll our head forward nice and slow. Bring the chin back to the chest. Keep the motion going to bring the right ear over the right shoulder. And once you're there, we're going to press that chin forward, pulling the right ear behind the right shoulder, moving that stretch to the front side of the body on the left part of the neck. Once you find that stretch, just hold. You might feel the stretch go from what feels like the jaw all the way down to the collarbone. Find your stretch and hold. Very good. Slowly roll the head forward, chin to chest. And then lift the chin nice and slow all the way towards the ceiling. Stretch out through the front of the neck. Let the head just drop heavy behind you. Close the jaw. And just breathe. Very good. Slowly bring the head back to neutral. And we're going to bring the hands to the mat and slowly untuck. I should say tuck the toes. Take your time. The top of the foot we just sat on and stretched out for a long time. We're going to tuck those toes and then press the hips back to the heels, stretching out to the bottom of the foot. Maybe a little sway side to side. Good. Now come to a tabletop position. We're going to do another dynamic stretch, and we're going to take it to a torso barrel. This is kind of like a cat-cow. You're going to round out through your spine and then shift to the right, and then you're going to round the belly forward towards the mat like you're in a cow, and then out to the left as you round it in. So if you have an idea of what a barrel looks like, you want your torso to go to the side, the bottom, the opposite side, the top. If you're trying to touch every side of that barrel with your torso, you're going to stick your right rib cage out and then round down towards the floor. Stick the left rib cage out as you round up to the top. Let's do it one more time. Nice and slow. And then we're going to change directions. So now I'm going to go to the left. I'm separating by pushing my hip down and pulling my shoulder up and pushing out the rib cage to the left side of the room. I'm going to round up into that cat, and then I'm going to round to the right, again finding space between the shoulder and the hip, pressing out to the right side of the rib cage, and then taking it down to the cow as I round again to the top. Take your time with these. Nobody can see you, just find some space. And then let's stick it into a cat. Tuck the chin, pull the belly in, really round the spine and separate through the shoulder blades. And then in that cat, I want you to press the hips back to the heels. Keep the back as rounded as you can and find a stretch to the back of the ribs. Good. Slowly lift the hips, tuck the belly down. Let's take it to a cow. Just shift your hips from the left to the right. Keep the chest open. Pull the shoulders together. Shoulder blades are reaching for each other. Shoot the hips back and then come forward. Good. Let's untuck the toes, sit the hips to the heels, and find a child's pose. Favorite cheek to the mat. Close the eyes if they aren't already, and just take a moment to breathe. Very good. Start to slowly lift the body. And we're going to bring our right knee out in front. Sitting it down nice and easy. Our right leg's going to be in front and our left leg is going to come out to the side. We're going to stretch out through the hips a little bit more. We did dynamic stretching. We're going to move into the static side of stretching for the rest of class. Let's make an L shape in both knees. So you don't want that right foot squeezed back here, touching that left thigh. We want to scoot it out away from that left leg and make an L shape in that right knee and in the left. From there, you're going to sit nice and tall. And we're going to walk the hands forward. Maybe keep the arms long, keep the spine long, keep the gaze forward, or bring it down to the forearms if you have that space. Stretching out through the glutes, inside that hip joint. Find a stretch for yourself and just hold it there. And then if you want to get super relaxed, then you can bring your forearms on top of each other, your palms on top of each other, bring your head down to rest, and just take a moment to relax. If you don't have that much space, bring the elbows to the mat and bring the space between the eyes to the thumbs to help put some pressure on that pressure point to relieve some stress in the face. Very good. Let's come up to the fingertips. We're going to bring our right hand out to the side of our right thigh. And I'm going to lean my upper body into that right palm, supported by the ground. I'm just going to lift my left hip forward and reach my left arm behind me. Good. Set it down. Then we're going to lift the knees towards the ceiling. A dynamic movement over into another static stretch. The legs come to L shapes. Sit nice and tall with that left leg in front, and then walk the hands out to find that stretch through the left hip. Maybe you stay here with the arms long. Maybe you bring it down to the forearms. And when you find space here and you want to go further, you can bring the head down to the tops of the palms or to the forearms. Or maybe you can bend the elbows again and find that pressure point between the eyebrows to rest the head into the thumbs. Close the eyes, try to relax. We're here to de-stress. If you have to think about something, think about any of the sensations you're feeling, any tightness, any tension, or relax and just follow your breath. Very good. Come up to the palms. And let's bring that left hand down outside of the left thigh. We're going to let our upper body weight be supported by the ground through that left palm. And we're going to press into the knees to lift the hips up, pressing that right hip forward, reaching the right arm back. Good. We'll sit it down nice and slow, and then we'll come into a straddle. Toes point up, sit up nice and tall. Bring the hands behind the legs, pointing the fingers away from you, and let the upper body kind of lean into the fingertips. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, sit tall. And then slowly start to lean forward, walking the hands out in front. Keep the spine long. Find the stretch on the inner thighs and then just hold. Close the eyes. Think about the stretch. Think about sending your breath into the muscles to help them relax. If you find the space, maybe you come to the forearms. Continuing to find the stretch so you can continue to find relaxation. Very good. Press it up. And sit up nice and slow. We're going to bend the left leg in, keeping that right leg long. And I just want you to lean over to the side. Lean over that right leg. Bring your right forearm to the right shin. And maybe you bend the elbow. And just let your head rest in the palm. Find a comfortable place for that left arm to relax. Close the eyes. And we're looking to stretch out through the left low back, down the left side. If you're not finding the stretch there, you can bring the forearm down to the floor. And lean to the right. Try to find a position where you could just fall asleep. Maybe you let the head rest to the bicep. Just relax. Good, let's start to sit up. We're gonna lift that left knee, turn towards that right leg and bring that left foot over the right leg. We're gonna bring the right elbow to wrap it around that left knee. Sit nice and tall and grab on to your hands and squeeze that knee into the chest. Sit nice and tall, reach the crown of the head for the ceiling. Keep squeezing that knee into the chest. You should feel that deep in the hip. Good, let's bring that left hand down to the mat. The right elbow is going to connect with the left knee, and we're going to push ourselves into a deeper twist than we've had today. Maybe looking over the left shoulder with the eyes open or closed. Find that deeper twist, detoxing through our organs, twisting out through the spine, releasing toxins. Make sure you drink lots of water today. Good, slowly relax and unwind that left leg. We're gonna bring the left leg out straight. Out to the side, back to that straddle, bringing the right leg in. We're gonna lean over to the left. Now, find that relaxed position. Maybe you bring your left forearm to the left thigh. Maybe you bring it down to the mat. You wanna find the spot that you can rest and let the head fully relax. Even in this relaxed stretch, with my arm resting on top of my right foot, I can find the stretch in that right low back. Your body is going to be different than mine, so take a moment to find your stretch and just hold. And then relax, closing the eyes, taking your focus to your breath. Good, slowly sit it up. We're gonna lift that right knee up, turn towards that left leg, and then bring the right over the left. Using the left elbow to squeeze that right knee into the chest as you reach the crown of the head for the ceiling. Keep squeezing the knee into the chest. You might notice that one side is tighter than the other, and that's totally normal. I don't feel that deep hip stretch on the right side. Maybe you feel it more on this side than you did the other. Good, we're gonna bring that right hand down to the floor. Bring that left elbow to the right knee and find yourself in that deep twist. Continue to lift the spine long, the head towards the ceiling. And if the eyes are open or closed, take the gaze over that right shoulder, finding a nice detox twist. Good, relax. Let's bring the right foot to meet the left. And we're gonna slowly lower ourselves down to our backs. All the way down. Let's pull both knees into the chest. If you can wrap the forearms around your knees, great. If not, just grab onto the knees and pull them into the chest as the hips lift off of the mat. Try to close the eyes, try to keep them closed through the rest of practice, really connecting the mind, the body, and being less distracted by anything in the room visually. Take a slow rock side to side and massage that low back into the mat. Good, let's let the feet slowly come down to the mat and then walk them out to the edges of your mat. We're gonna let the knees fall to the right. Keep your shoulder blades connected to the mat. And let both knees fall over to the right. You'll feel a nice stretch. I'm feeling mine all the way down the front of that left leg. You might feel it in the hip, you might feel it in the low back, just depending on where you're tight. The knees are to the right, and just try to relax. Keep the face soft. Find a couple of deep breaths. Good. Slowly lift the knees, bring them towards the ceiling, and then we're going to slowly lower them to the left. Keeping the shoulder blades in the back, nice and flush to the mat. The knees are to the left. Find a couple of big deep breaths. Good, now slowly lift the knees back towards the ceiling. Take a couple of windshield wipers, I call these. The knees go to the left and then to the right. They don't go all the way down, just side to side. Good, and then we'll bring the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling, reaching for the shins or the bottoms of the feet. Drawing the knees towards the mat and then slowly rocking side to side to massage the mid-back. Very good. Let's let the feet slowly come back to the mat. We're going to walk them out to the sides of the mat again, and then let the knees cave in. Finding some internal rotation at the hip. Let the knees cave in. Bring the hands to the belly. Close the eyes if they're not already, and just relax for a couple rounds of breath here. Very good. Open up the knees. Let's bring the knees to the chest one more time. And I want you to lift the forehead up to the knees and find yourself in the tiniest ball that you can. Wrapping the forearms around the legs, squeezing the legs into the chest, squeezing the legs together. I want you to try and squeeze everything in your body. So start with the toes. Curl the toes. Squeeze the soles of the feet, squeeze the calves into the hamstrings, the quads into the chest. You're going to squeeze the fingers and the palms, squeezing the forearms and the arms into the legs, squeezing the shoulders together through the chest. And then with the face, squeeze the space between the eyes, clench the jaw, and become as tight as you possibly can. And then slowly relax everything. Let the head come to the mat. Release the arms. Let the feet come to the mat and then walk them out long. Let the feet fall open. Take as much space on the floor as you would like. Bring the arms out to the sides, palms face up. Take a big deep breath in and let it go. One more time, big deep breath in and sigh it out. Closing the eyes. Relax the face. Holding no tension anywhere. We want to relax that space between the eyes. Relaxing the jaw. Relax the ears. Let the arms be super heavy on the mat. Holding no tension in the palms or the fingers. Relaxing through the low back and the chest. The hips and the legs are heavy. Completely supported by the ground. Holding no tension in the feet or the toes. Take your focus to your breath for just a few moments. Maybe imagine where your happy place is, if that's laying on the beach with the sun on your face, or maybe in a grassy field with the wind blowing on your face. Let's slowly start to wiggle the fingers and the toes and reach the arms up overhead and the legs long and take a big stretch. And let it go. Make your way on to your favorite side, keeping the eyes closed. Use that top arm as a pillow. Let that
Let the top arm rest to your body and use that bottom arm as a pillow. There we go. Take a couple of slow, easy breaths. And then when you're ready, slowly blink the eyes open and use that top arm to help you up to a seat.
Thank you guys so much for joining me today for Stretch and De-stress.